What's up, internet? My name's Ori. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button, and if you like this video, hit that like button. We're breaking down everything that happened on the Big Brother 23 live feeds yesterday, and oh my goodness, it was a lot. First off, we had the wildcard competition, we had the nomination ceremony, and things were crazy. A lot of misunderstanding, a lot of emotions going on, people just confused, and it was a lot of fun to watch this all go down. So let's just start off with the wildcard competition. The three people who played, it was Tiffany, Derek X, and Britini. So Tiffany for the queens, Derek X for the aces, and Britini for the jokers. There was kind of a plan going into this, right? That Derek X was going to throw it. He did not want to win this at all, because then that would mean that Brent or Whitney possibly could end up with safety, right? And Derek X would have had to like turn down the deal and all that kind of stuff, right? So it just made sense for him not to win the competition, right? There was also kind of a little bit of a plan with Tiffany and Britini. They were like, look, you know, he's not going to win, so like we're trying to get me to win, right, Tiffany? So it all seemed like, you know, this was going to work out perfectly fine. And it kind of does. Tiffany wins the wildcard competition. Fantastic, right? Perfect plan. Not so much. So apparently it was one of those like kind of knockout competitions where like one person was eliminated, then finally, you know, you had two people left, one winner. Tiffany obviously won. Britini was the first person out because apparently Tiffany and Derek X teamed up on Britini, right? With kind of the idea of like, look, Britini's a little bit of a wild card, right? She might just be like, yo, I'm gunning for this and I'm going to win it, right? Whereas, you know, Derek X is throwing this thing. He does not want to win at all. Period. End of story. Where they weren't 100% sure where Britini's head was lying, right? She's not fully involved in all the conversations and all the planning. So it just made sense. Let's just get her out. Derek X is going to throw it, and then Tiffany will win. Simple, right? But from what we understand, because the feeds didn't come on right away, so we didn't actually see this part, but apparently Derek F was calling Tiffany out in front of the house. Azah was very, very upset, which we did get to see some of as well. She and Britini just didn't really understand why their team was being targeted. And again, it's not that they're being targeted, it's that they just made sense for Tiffany to win because they didn't trust Britini as much, right? If Azah was in the competition, they probably would have been like, look, we don't even care, or like, Azah, you could probably win this one. Tiffany doesn't even really need to win this one, right? It would have been a little easier because they would have trusted Azah more. They didn't trust Britini as much, so it just made sense. Get her out. Derek X is going to throw. Tiffany wins it. But these two just didn't understand that logic at all. And I think maybe one of the things that Azah was upset about is the idea that Britini's going to be going on the block again, right? I don't think they want to be on the block. And that's where it's like, okay, you're being maybe, I understand your lack of wanting to go on the block. If I was in the Big Brother house, I would not want to be on the block. But in this scenario, everyone knows they're going after one particular person. Brent. Like, most of the house wants Brent out. They want Whitney out probably second. They don't really know that Britini is probably the third person on that list, but it just made sense that, hey, let's just let Tiffany win. Get Derek out. X, let him go because he's throwing it. Get Britini out. But they, again, were very upset by this. It led to, after the wild card, Xavier having meetings with everyone before nominations, just trying to, you know, explain to them what the plan is. And one thing, if you don't know, the HOH technically isn't allowed to say, I'm nominating Brent and I'm nominating Britini, right? He can't actually say that to somebody in the house. It's technically against the rules of Big Brother. It's a weird one. I think really it's just to kind of keep the episodes, right, more dramatic, so they have better footage of being like, I don't know who I'm going to put up, right? But you can do a lot of like, I'm putting him up, right? You know who him is and stuff like that. But he was having those conversations kind of individually with everybody in there. The one that was going on with Azah was a little heated, and well, I don't want to say heated. It wasn't heated, but you could tell that Azah was not comfortable with what the plan was. She was not comfortable with the situation. And even to the point where she's like, look, put me up. Put me up. And poor X, man, he's like, what do you mean put you up? I can't put you up. Like, I can't. I just can't do it. We're in the cookout. Like, one thing you have to remember is the cookout, the way they kind of see this is almost bigger than the game, right? It's getting as many of them to the end as possible, right? Because they want that. And it hasn't happened in Big Brother. It just hasn't happened, right? So they want to get as many of the cookout members to the final as possible. And he's like, I just can't put you up, Azah. I can't. Britini is being mentioned by Brent, right? She's the one that he would feel most comfortable up against because he's throwing her name out there, right? This is how we get him to feel the most comfortable, because Brent was never going to feel comfortable going on the block. But this is how we get him to be the most comfortable going up there. Put him against the person that he's been saying all week. And again, it never really got to a point where Azah and Britini, Derek F a little bit kind of got to the point where he was like, yeah, I get it. All right, it's fine. But they just never got to the point where they were comfortable with this. This is a picture here of poor Xavier and Kai. Xavier's telling Kai, like, look, Azah was telling me to put her up. They are not happy with this. It's like, what do you want me to do? These two poor dudes, man, they are just like, why don't you get this logic? We're putting Brent up. Britini's going to be safe. Brent is going home. Even worst case scenario, that he comes down, we put Whitney up and Whitney goes home. They did not ever get to a point where it was like, okay, it's fine. Everybody kind of understands the plan, and we're going to be going with it. Then eventually it came time for Noms, but right before the nomination ceremony, Xavier ended up having a meeting with Brent, and he's like, hey, man, you know, I might have to choose you. And he's like, oh, yeah, for like the veto, like Houseguest choice? Yeah, like totally, I'm down for that. No. He's like, for a nomination. And he's like, oh, dude, no, like, I'm a target, I'm a threat, I'm a physical guy. Like, if I was in your position, I would never be able to do it because you're a physical guy. And Brent was like, this is not going to be good. He's like, if you do this, you're going to turn the aces against you. No, the aces are all on board with this. Brent, like, he was trying to pull every trick out of the book to be able to get this to stop, and it just wasn't gonna work. Eventually the nominations take place, and it is Brent, it is Britini. They are the ones that were put onto the block, and Brent kind of went into a little bit of freak out mode, was going around talking with everybody. There was a really good point where everybody's just lying to Brent. They're like, yeah, man, like, it sucks, but you know what, we got your back, we have you. This is a great pic here of Derek X and Hannah just being like, yeah, we're so concerned about you, like, we don't want you to go home. Bravo to you too. But yeah, it was kind of a crazy day inside the Big Brother house. More of just people kind of being on edge and not understanding the plan. Derek X and Azah ended up actually having a conversation on the couch later in the night where he continued to try and explain to Azah what the situation was. He was like, look, I'm throwing the competition. Why get me out first? Right? Like, I'm going to throw it. And I just see it differently. I just see it differently. And it's one of those things where, again, maybe it, like, I understand the frustration of, like, Britini, right? Not wanting to go up onto the block again. I understand that. I understand her being upset by it. But every year there's always a pawn, and Britini, you're the pawn. You're the one that probably will get put up there a lot until you do end up going home. It sucks to be in that position, but it is what it is, especially when they have this plan that's going on. Yeah, just a wild day inside the Big Brother house. Now, Before you guys go, tonight I will be live streaming on Twitch, twitch.tv/Ori Streams. Links are in the description right down below. We'll probably be playing some Goose Goose Duck, maybe some other games afterwards. We'll see how the night goes. But if you want to come on and hang out, you are more than welcome to. Make sure you're following over there as well. Other than that, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you made it all the way through, smash that like button right down below. And again, if you were new here, hit that subscribe button so you never miss a video, you never miss a stream. I want to thank you all for your support, and I will see you all next time. And always remember to expect the unexpected.